The cigarette industry currently extorts low-income farmers in less developed countries, making the market value for tobacco extremely low, so farmers cannot make living wages for themselves. Hopeful tobacco farmers eventually find themselves trapped in the cycles of poverty that last throughout generations. The cigarette industry will kill over 175 million people worldwide between now and the year 2030, according to the World Health Organization. With a compound annual growth rate of 4%, the $800 billion cigarette industry is projected to grow.
16.5% of cows are killed by inflammatory diseases such as mastitis, meaning that ranchers are wasting their resources, preventing them from bringing in more revenue for their business. With Spiza, fewer cows fall ill to inflammatory diseases, so the cost of production is lower for farmers and it maximizes their profit. This also means a lower environmental impact, as cows that would ordinarily die to these diseases can be used to their full potential, and farmers can produce more output without the need to expand their ranch.
Spiza is a water-soluble supplement that addresses inflammatory conditions in meat and dairy cows through anti-inflammatory compounds like anandamide, turmeric, and spirulina. Our solution for this social problem is a minimum wage. The mega corporations that take advantage of the farmers buy the tobacco per pound, but we would hire farmers and provide them a wage that is 50% above the country's minimum wage. This would ensure the farmers a baseline of profit from their tobacco. The solution for the rancher problem is the anti-inflammatory capabilities of our product, Spiza. There will be fewer cows that suffer from inflammatory conditions such as mastitis, which renders the meat and dairy of the cow useless, which also lowers ranch productivity. The process we would utilize would support industrial levels of production. As our business grows, we would obviously need to supply a growing demand. First, we would obtain non-cured tobacco leaves and grind them up. Then, we would utilize water steam to raise the temperature and water content of the mixture. We would then treat the leaves with ammonium hydroxide to raise the pH of the compound, which primes it for the upcoming acidic processes. Now, we would have to unhook the salts and liberate the alkaloid chemicals to obtain them in their free base form. For this process, we would use naphtha, a hydrocarbon solvent that would defat the leaf mixture. Now, we would treat the mixture with aqueous sulfuric acid, which would result in anandamide sulfate, the form of anandamide that would be used in our supplement.
Some grants that we will apply to are the Research and Development Federal Grant, which is around $100,000, the Animal Welfare Institute Grant, grants offered by the ASPCA, and the Sustainable Agriculture Research and Education Grant, which can provide up to $30,000. Around $50,000 will be directed into research, and $25,000 into our Startup Investment Program, where we will provide farms with samples of Spiza, and $55,000 to produce our goal of 1,000 units. Per serving, we have around 100 grams Spiza, 19 milligrams anandamide, and 100 milligrams turmeric. Overall, the final production price will be around $3.22, but this can be drastically lowered by signing contracts with raw ingredient merchants. With our initial production goal of 1,000 units, it will cost us $6,520, not including labor. We plan to pay farmers 50% over minimum wage, which is around $1.5. Hopefully, this benefit will prompt farmers away from selling to the cigarette industry any longer. We estimate we will need about 50 farmers for 10 acres of land, which is around $24,750 in wages.
We hope to grow our business through a startup accelerator program where we would be able to gain mentors and investors. Afterwards, we would apply for grants such as the Research and Development Grant. Then, our first step of action would be reaching out to rancher associations for contracts. With partnerships with associations like the United States Cattlemen's Association, Texas and Southwestern Cattle Raisers Association, and the Oklahoma Cattlemen's Association, we would be able to secure a baseline of revenue. After that, we have to pursue a B2C model, marketing to ranchers and large-scale farms in developed countries such as the United States. For these large-scale farms, we hope to implement a subscription model where these ranchers would receive their first supply for free. When this model becomes established, we would then implement our marketing strategies to compel the average rancher. Then we hope to expand globally to less developed countries such as Malawi and sign government contracts. Less developed countries like Malawi have a large disparity between large and small-scale livestock farms, but one similarity exists: the lack of nutritious livestock feed. The rates of inflammatory illnesses are higher in less developed countries, and the government has recognized this. Through Malawi's National Master Livestock Plan, they are more receptive to supplement companies as they recognize that there is a correlation between livestock health and livestock feed.
Existing livestock supplements typically include liquid supplements or injectable supplements. The major flaw of liquid supplements are that they are easily perishable. The advertised expiration duration of this particular product is 8 months, but Spiza is projected to have an expiration duration of 3 years. Dosing liquid supplements may be difficult, and overdoses from liquid supplements have been proven to cause nausea, vomiting, and immunosuppression. These are all ailments that affect the well-being of the cattle and should be avoided. Injectable supplements are inefficient due to their string of side effects. Firstly, Spiza can be mixed in with feed or the water supply, so farmers do not have to go through the extra hassle of injection and deal with the cost of supplies associated with that procedure. Also, there will be less chance of transmission of infection, as injection leaves an opening to bacteria and viruses to enter the bloodstream and affect the health of the cows. There is also a risk of overdose. Furthermore, the logistics of an infection suggest there is a possibility that the cows may be subjected to tissue damage and abscesses. We plan to administer the ED50 dosage of anadabine, where anti-inflammatory responses have been noted. Finally, Spiza is plant-based and our packaging is recyclable, which decreases stress on Earth's ecosystems.